month, and possibly for the other months too. Haven't decided yet. This is a chart that reflects the 12 houses of astrology. 12 houses, and each house represents a different area of concern in your life. That way we can pinpoint exactly which areas need a little bit more work, a little bit more attention, so that we can, mitigate these effects early on, so that for each house. And we're going to go into your reading. After that, then I'm going to do your love reading. And so let's get started, and I'll explain as I go along how this works. The first house deals with your identity. It's traditionally called the ascendant, the rising sign. So it's the face that you project out into the world. It's the way that other people perceive you. And it's also the way in which, you carry yourself. So it's your personality, for example. This here is the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is somebody with a lot of plans, a lot of ideas. And there is also a sense of optimism and idealism as you enter the month. And this is the way that other people perceive you, okay? Illusion of grandeur is something that comes up. It's the message that comes through with this card. And it's also somebody who is very, very idealistic. And they have a lot of plans. They have a lot of new things that they want to implement into their lives or to bring forth into the world. The advice when it comes to this card overall is, do the proper research. Make sure that the plans are feasible, and make sure as well that you're not you're not looking so much at the big picture. And logistically, make sure that all the little details are in place. Getting all your ducks in a row, getting things organized. Overall, this is indicative of, your attention being pulled in many, many different directions. There are a lot of things, a lot of I feel like a lot of projects, a lot of things on your plate already. So you need to focus and triage and see what's important, what needs to be taken care of first. And you also need to delegate very, very well, because this is pretty much, hitting the ground running. Okay. The second house is, we have here the Two of Cups. And the second house deals with your finances as well as your value system. First of all, the Two of Cups, this is a card about, seeing eye to eye with another person. And I feel like it's a card about compromise, okay? It's a card about partnership, compromise, seeing eye to eye with another person. So as it relates to your finances, this is a card about signing contracts, things being started, things being initiated. And I feel that you're coming in very, very hopeful and very emotionally fulfilled for this month as it relates to your career and your even your money, how you're making your money. So this is a card about fairness as well. Whatever the work that you put in, you're going to be adequately compensated. So just make sure that you're not sleeping on the job, you're not, idling or committing time theft. So whatever you put in, it's going to be returned to you in the same manner. Okay, so equal exchange of energy is what I'm feeling. As it relates to your value, learning to compromise with another person, seeing things from a different viewpoint is going to be necessary and required for you. And I do feel that, softening your approach a little bit, being a little bit more mild and being a little bit more willing to show others that you understand where they're coming from. When you, if you have to say no for whatever reason, learn to soften the blow just a little bit. Okay, so seeing both sides of the equation, that's going to be coming through very strongly for you as it relates to the values that you want to espouse for this month. The third house deals with communication. It also deals with siblings. So let me talk about this person as a sibling first. So some of us are only children, others of us have confusing relationships with siblings, okay? And then there are blended families, step siblings, and all of that. Whoever it is that you consider your siblings, this is showing up here as a person, a bringer of news. So we have here the Page of Wands. This is a younger person from you, so possibly, somebody younger than you, a sibling that is younger than you. This is somebody with a lot of ideas. They usually, I think of this as a messenger, pages or messenger. And they have a lot of ideas. They want to implement something out into the world. They want to it seems almost as if they have something they want to prove to the world. And I feel that one of the things that you're going to be called upon if you're dealing with a sibling that is like this, you're going to hear messages from them. You're going to hear something, and possibly they're living at a distance from you. And I do feel they have some, income generating endeavors that they want you to partake in. They also might need funding. They might need support for whatever reason. They might need somebody to bounce ideas off of. This is someone who's very, very adventurous. They have a habit of starting things that they can't really finish. They are very carefree, optimistic, and I feel like they might have many, many ideas. They're also very creative. I feel a sense of distance between you and them, and I feel like for this month they're going to be coming through communicating with you heavily. Okay, so it's an overall lighthearted, good energy, and I feel a lot of optimism associated with this card. As it relates to communication with the Page of Wands, the Page of Wands is somebody who, once again, is very, very I want to say optimistic, carefree. And what you're going to start to see happening in the communication sector is a lot of people from overseas or even, long distance communication coming in very, very rapidly. A lot of these things are like realistic, and some of them are things that you can't possibly take care of right now. So they're pretty much telling you don't scatter your energy and be a little bit more directed as to which projects and which people you want to communicate with. I do see they're saying foreign tongues, foreign lands, foreign tongues. So there's a lot of communication with people like this in general. And I do see like having to do a lot of gesturing, having to like, use body language in order to convey an idea or a thought. Okay. Communication is going to be generally very positive and very good overall for this month. And I feel that you're getting your point across in a way that you are an air sign and you're ruled by the planet Mercury. So overall, what I'm feeling here is a little bit more of an assertive energy is going to be required of you when you're dealing with others, okay? So it's overall very positive though. Fourth house deals with family, the family that you grew up with, the family that you're creating for yourself or hope to create for yourself, as well as it deals with the mother, okay? So we have here the Page of Cups, and it's interesting because I believe the same card fell out, but it fell out reverse for Aquarius, so this might be an air sign thing. First of all, let me talk about the mother figure. So the Page of Cups, this is a person, this is an energy of a person. A lot of soulful communication and things like that, because once again, pages are messenger. They bring an aspect of themselves when it comes to, the message that they're hoping for. There's going to be a lot of healing as it pertains to the mother. There's going to be a lot of like good communication coming through as well with your mother. There's going to be support, mutual support, I feel, from you to them and from them to you. And there's going to be, peace offering. If you have been estranged, you're going to come into contact with this woman. And she's going to be a little bit softer in her demeanor. She's going to be more agreeable, easier to manage, and, pleasant to be around. So there is a big shift here for reconciliation, for healing this relationship as well, okay? And what I also feel is usually I'm getting a big hit here about spiritual energies, and especially for those of you whose mother have passed on. I do feel some divine protection, some kind of guidance, some type of blessing coming through from this person if they have passed on. Messages coming through spiritual channels that can be through dreams, that can also be through intuition, guidance, and things like that, to teach you how to relate better to your own children as you, if you're a woman, as you assume the role of the caretaker. Does that make sense? So some insights into how to handle young people better, some insights to really, I guess, activate your maternal instincts in order to take care of people or to be able to sympathize with somebody and to be able to put yourself in their shoes. So I do feel some spiritual energy that is driving you to do the right thing and to be a lot more sympathetic and to open yourself up emotionally to really understand how to help people or how to, take care of your own children if you have children, okay? So you can be a male or female watching this. If you have your own children, there is spiritual energy, especially if a mother has passed away, coming through. As it relates to your household environment, I feel like there's a lot of love, there's a lot of support coming through from family. So siblings, the family that you grew up with, the people that you grew up with and the environment that you grew up with as it relates to your family. There's a lot of mutual love and support. Congratulations as well, I feel. And an outpouring of love and soulful, heartfelt communication. As it relates to the family that you are living in right now, I do feel that there is this person involved in your family unit. So the Page of Cups, this can be your child. This can be, I'm sensing, this is a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And I feel like they crave a lot of attention and they need a lot of love, and they are generally very, very affectionate. Okay. Oftentimes this is kind of like the bringing a new pet into the household as well, is what I'm feeling. Bringing a new pet, adopting a new pet, having a new addition to the family as well. Okay. And I feel like it might be just animals rather than real people, but something like that related to your household environment. So it looks really good, and I feel like it's you're making your home more comforting, either by buying furniture rather than buying stylish furniture. You might opt for more comfortable pieces to decorate your home. And I feel overall a lot of you are going to spend a lot more time at home entertaining guests rather than going out. Which takes us to the next sector of your life. This is the 5th house. It deals with creativity. It also deals with children, creativity, how you entertain, and the things that you find entertaining and the things that you enjoy. Okay, so this is more on the excitement type of energy. It deals with the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles in the reverse position. One thing I want to advise you all is, first of all, this is showing up in the reverse. This deals with financial security. And they're really urging you, and they're trying to tell you here that if you are struggling financially for whatever reason, if you feel almost as if, I wish I could save up, I feel like a lot of your expenditures is going towards, entertainment and, going out and things like that. So this is an area of your life, if it's not taken care of, I do feel that it's going to be a cause for concern further down the line. And with the 5th house as the King of Pentacles in the reverse, it basically means, trying to curb your spending in a way where you're not finding ways to entertain so that you're not, burning like a hole through your wallet. So just be careful about that. In terms of like social dating, the 5th house indicates creativity, fun, excitement, and things like that. This is a person that you might be dealing with. You might be going out on dates with, going to dinner with, entertainment, like movies and dining and dancing, etc. And I feel like it's a person here, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And this is somebody who's not financially stable. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Plan dates, plan activities, or plan whatever it is in a way that it matches your pocketbook and their pocketbook. So you might be feeling very good. You might be wanting to go out. And whatever you plan might exceed the means that this person permits for him or herself. So just something to keep in mind about. On top of that, I do see a little bit of I want to say like somebody who's not carrying their weight as well, somebody who is either not as reliable, or they're just not like, they might be quite extravagant without the financial means to back up their lifestyle. So you might be dealing with somebody like this. It's not a relationship partner, I feel like it's just somebody you're hanging out with on a regular basis, or you're doing recreational activities with. Okay, it could be like a best friend, could be it's just somebody that you're dealing with in this sector of your life, going out and things like that. All right. Once again, the 5th house also rules children. So I feel like there might be children in your environment if you are somebody that has children, where they're kind of like being a little bit reckless and irresponsible, and they might need some financial assistance coming through from you as well. So it's just somebody a little bit reckless, a little bit extravagant, and I do feel very, very stubborn as well. Okay, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Now the 6th house deals with health, work, and your daily routine. We have here the Death card, which basically means a major, major, major transformation through this entire house as it relates to health, work, and daily routine. Your daily routine is going to change drastically. Whatever you were doing before, I feel that it's going to be a lot more regimented. So for example, before you might have had like, dabbled around with a million things. Now you're going to need to like focus your energy, hone in, and do one thing at a time, or even like one long project at a time. So I feel like on the daily day-to-day living, there's going to be some major shift, and I feel that the shift is going to be better for you. Your career house is very lit up with the Magician here, and I'm going to talk about that later. So I feel like maybe a lot of you are very, very busy, so you're hiring people to do services for you around the house. And I feel very strongly, having to stay up very late to get things done as well. So your sleep habits are going to have to be routinized, and your daily activities are going to be monitored stringently. And for some reason, I feel that you're going to be transforming as well. Your health situation, there might be a little bit of a health scare here with the Death card. And I feel like shortness of breath. I feel like heart murmurs. And I feel like fainting spells, being a little bit overwhelmed mentally taxed, being a little bit physically taxed. Get checked up at the beginning. That way, you know where what areas need a little bit of a boost. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. As it relates to your work as well, a lot of you might have recently entered a new job. And I feel like, because we have contracts being signed in the money house, there might be a new job. Either, you're starting a new job, or you are transitioning, waiting, like ending one job and starting another. So I feel a lot of you are going through some major transformations as it relate to this house. And it looks very positive. I don't feel there's anything bad. I feel like, change is usually good. Change, and overall the rest of the cards look good. So I do feel that, time management and somehow having a little bit. Now your seventh house deals with relationships in love and in partnership, like with work and things like that, business partnerships. Okay, so partnerships in love and partnerships in work. Usually this is a marriage house, so we're not talking like social dating falls in the fifth house, and usually fifth house, 11th house. Relationships, heavy, like long-standing relationships, marriages, partnerships, are usually represented by the seventh house. I have the Hangman in the reverse position. So whatever conflict, whatever situation where you were kind of like not really sure how to progress, how to move forward, I do feel that you're going to be able to have some resolution, to have some type of a breakthrough, so that you know or understand thoroughly the state of your relationship. Okay? The Hangman in the reverse is usually a situation where I feel like we're going to have to reach a state of enlightenment to understand where our partner is coming from. So Gemini as well. Full moons in Gemini, full moons especially, it brings up like an emotional culmination, right? Whatever conflict, whatever was the boiling point. And it's not going to apply for all, but for some of you, I feel that there's going to be some resolution. So you're no longer kind of like you're no longer stuck waiting in suspense. You're going to know how to proceed. And I feel like whatever came through is going to be bringing about, a lot more harmony within your relationship sector. The eighth house deals with joint finances, and it also deals with, well, for the purposes of this reading, I'm going to focus specifically on joint finances, but it also rules, the house of the psychic house, sex, death, regeneration. And when we have here the Two of Wands, and the Two of Wands, I just want to say, like, I feel a lot of you are either romantically or sexually involved with somebody at a distance. That's the first thing. I feel like you are also fantasizing, thinking about somebody from a distance, or communicating with them electronically. That's the first message that came through with this card. What is also coming through as well in this house as it relates to joint finances? This is a person, so, like joint finances basically means that you have financial dealings with another person. If you yourself are some completely self-sufficient, living like you're on an island and you're not linked up with somebody else, this might not apply to you. So the first message about long distance communication, relationship, or fantasizing about somebody, that's going to apply to you. But if you're just, you have joint finances with another person, this is a relationship card, and what it means is that it's joint finances, but somebody is like making all the money. That's what I'm sensing. So it's like somebody is, I feel somebody is making all the money, but somebody else is handling all the expenses, or like the expenditures. So I feel that, in some ways it can work where one person is busy bringing in the money and the other person takes care of how money is practically spent. And then on the other extreme, it can be very unbalanced as well, because one person brings in all the money, but the other person is spending as if it's joint. So I hope that makes sense. This is a partnership card, but it usually indicates, one person bearing the responsibility of it while the other person is not around. So that's what I'm feeling here for your joint finances. Overall, it's the Two of Wands. It's actually a very, very good thing. If you're looking into investment opportunities as it pertains to property management especially, I see travel and tourism as well. Those are good fuels for you to invest your joint finances, okay? It's going to pan out really well for you, real estate and things like that, okay? Now the ninth house deals with higher education, long distance travel as well, and it also deals with philosophies and religion. Religion is a touchy topic, but let's talk about this. We have here the Empress. And the Empress is somebody who's very, very much in control of situation, okay? This is a card about beauty. This is a card about basically, like, in the reverse position, it can also indicate vanity. And for the sake of, let's talk about religion here. This is basically a situation where we might be a little bit dogmatic, based on the things that we believe in, okay? And that can be philosophies, and that can also be religious upbringing as well. And I feel like a big part of you, I feel like the home environment has been very stable. So you grew up in an environment where, religious ideologies might have been transmitted through the maternal side of the family with the Empress card. And what that does is that it's forcing you to re-examine, the things that you really believe in, and to try to compromise with other people based on the things that they believe in. So they will not believe the same things that you do. And it's really important for you to learn how to bridge the distance and the boundary, rather than, try to bridge that gap, try to bridge those boundaries, rather than, I guess, like, putting a wedge in between people, okay? And it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a major, major challenge as well. With the Empress in the reverse as well, it's when it deals with philosophies and things like that, it basically advocates for women's rights. And I'm getting this message not so much from the card, but mainly, through what I'm seeing here, where I feel that, this is wanting to promote things that might concern, fertility, women's rights, and things like that. And I feel that, in a religious way, it's a hot topic actually in the world. So this is something that that's on your mind. It's going to be brought up for question as well sometime for this month, okay? Either with a debate with a coworker or just somebody in your group of friends, but I feel like it's going to be an issue that is brought up for debate. What I'm also feeling here is, as it relates to long distance travel, there are opportunities for you to do that, but I feel like on the practical front, there are a lot of responsibilities that won't allow you to do that. So you might have the money, but you might not have the time, or vice versa. You might have a lot of time, but you might not have the financial resources to do that yet, because the responsibilities are creeping in, okay? I feel a lot of you might have started a new job with this contract here, so you might be on that probationary period where you have to be there all the time. And you have to be on good terms with, your supervisor or your managing director, whoever it is. So you might not be able to take that vacation so early on. As it relates to higher education as well, with the Empress in the reverse position, I feel like some of you might be wanting to, apply for school, either graduate school, finishing up your bachelor's degree, or even doing some type of a PhD program, or even vocational school. There might be responsibilities coming through from the mother that might not allow you to do that just yet. So there's some blockages here when it comes to higher education, okay? And if you are doing higher education, I do see a lot of you are in the nursing degree, like, or trying to get a nursing degree in the healthcare profession as it relates to women's health, reproductive health, or even not even just women's, but reproductive health in general. Okay, and I feel that this is going to pan out for you, but there's some blockages here. Either having to take time where it can really the blockages will really lift for you. Now, your career house is looking very, very good. So we are looking at the 10th house. The 10th house deals with career and the father figure. So we have here the Magician, and this is such a powerful card. It's kind of like at the apex, of your spread. So this is a really, really good card, which basically means that you have the power of persuasion, okay? Whatever you are dreaming about and you're trying to conjure up and trying to bring into the world, you're going to be able to do it successfully. You have everything at your disposal in order to realize some ideas and to manifest them. So this is a really, really powerful card. I feel a lot of you are in a career where you are kind of like on center stage, all eyes are on you, and they're watching you make your magic. So just make sure it's in the upright position. So I feel like, this deals with like the orator, the person who has to be in the limelight, the person who is making these really, really important decisions, and they're under a lot of scrutiny, good or bad. But I feel this is a very positive card that basically means you wield a lot of power, so use it responsibly, okay? As it deals with the father figure, this is a very, very ambitious man. I feel that, you have a father that can be very independent, might be a little bit of a bachelor, might have trouble, settling down and handling, the role of the father or the role of the provider or even the role of the family man. So this is a man that I consider the bachelor, somebody who's really hard to pin down. They have many interests, and it's hard for them to like stay in one place and be domesticated, okay? So you might deal with a father figure that is like this. So overall, for your career house, I feel like a lot of you are starting something brand new where you wield a lot of power. So it might be a supervisory position. It might be like in a public speaking forum, in a public environment. So you wield a lot of power. And I feel like money is coming through based on like speaking engagement, like contracts. I feel like, your second house, this is income and money. So I feel like a lot of money is coming through speaking engagement, through like public appearances and things like that. The 10th house, so 11th house deals with friends and group associations. We're going to have to do some reassessment to see who our friends are. So don't stretch yourself too thin, because I feel like it's quality over quantity. Now, you're an air sign. You're also known as the social butterfly, and I feel like you have a wide circle of friends. You and Libras, very, very wide circle of friends. I feel like Aquarius are a little bit more discerning with their friends, and I feel like Geminis and Libras often are not. So just be a little bit careful here, because what I feel here is you might run into friends who are very, very overindulgent and who are quite reckless and irresponsible. Okay, with the Nine of Cups here, this is a card about, the person that has it all. Like it's usually indicative of overindulgence, but it's also a situation where the emotional connections are not there. So aim for friends that are a little bit more, I guess, like genuine, and aim for friends that are not only interested in the veneer, but they are interested in you as a person. As it relates to group associations, you're going to have many, many offers when it comes to joining groups, when it comes to allying with other people in order to fight for a cause, or to join groups in order to, meet new people as well. So the options are coming in plentifully, but I feel like you don't have the time. You're stretched out too thin, and you're not going to be able to do things well. So just make sure that you are a little bit more selective with friends and group associations, okay? Aim for the things, aim for the things and the people that really strike a chord with you on the emotional level. I feel like that's very important. Rather than, playing the social butterfly and having a wide network, but like very few true friends, I feel that it's important for you to narrow down your options overall. The 12th house deals with, this is a card, a house that deals with secrets and institutions. Usually any residual karma usually falls out in this house when I do this spread. And it's also, just for the purposes of this reading, it's the things that are hidden in your environment that you're not aware of. And this is also a very spiritual, a very psychic house as well. We have here the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands basically means some type of, this is the arrows of love, and this is communication. Long distance communication, swift, fast communication. And when it shows up in the reverse position, it's basically telling you that, don't stretch yourself too thin and really focus on the things that actually matter. So a lot of things are going to be brought up to your attention, but I feel that you need to narrow down some of the things that are important to you, that speak to you personally. On top of that, what I do feel in your environment that you're not aware of here, this is kind of like saying one thing and meaning another, or even like stoppage, slow down in communication from overseas as well, okay? And I feel like they're urging you, because this is in the 12th house, they're urging you to look into this situation, because I feel like it's going to be something that gets exacerbated, through. And I took out the Hangman in the reverse because this card rules your 7th house relationships. And we're going to use that as a segue into the next reading. It's going to guide the love reading. Sorry about that. Too many cards, so I'm just aiming for one. Okay, this one. Okay. So, what I'm getting while I was shuffling the cards and the messages that came through with this card here is, I feel like a lot of you are waiting on a person to come back. And I feel like if you have been waiting on them to come back, waiting on them to somehow make up their mind about, what direction they want to head on with you, I feel that you're not going to be doing that anymore, which is good. And then for others, I feel like this is a card about, wanting to make a peace offering with another person, okay? Like wanting to either reconcile. And I feel like reconciliation is not about getting back together. I feel like somebody's mad at you or upset with you. And I feel like you want to say you're sorry. So you were waiting, like a lot of the times when we argue with another person, it's usually a situation related to pride. There's also, wanting to get at the truth, but I feel like two people are very proud and no one wants to open their mouths and apologize or reconcile. And I feel that there might have been something that happened. I feel like the other person's upset with you, and you were just like, oh, you were upset too, so you're just like, oh, I don't need them. But then I feel that it might have to do with the Mercury in retrograde energy like subsiding, mainly because a lot of miscommunications happen during biting the bullet, and you're going to approach them first, and you're not going to be waiting in this uncomfortable position just waiting for things to get better. You're actually going to get your hands dirty and to do something to fix it, okay? So that's very, very positive. And then for others, I feel like there is a major change around, like turnaround, as it relates to your romantic life, where you are, like if you've been feeling as if, I feel like a lot of you recovered from a past relationship and now you're putting yourself out there on the dating front. So that looks really good. So these are all positive messages with the hangman in the reverse. So let me talk about the foundation, because this is something that we know to be true coming into this month, okay? The foundation here, we have the Seven of Wands in the reverse position. The Seven of Wands in the reverse position is basically a card where it's an end to conflict. It's an end to ego games. And it's also where you don't have to really, fight for the things that you believe in anymore. I feel like somebody is on board with you and they're agreeing to the things that you espouse. So I feel like you're not going to have to defend your values. You're not going to have to defend your ideas, and you're not going to have to defend your stance anymore for whatever reason. Okay, so moving into this month, I guess, you're feeling very, very sure and certain, and people are on board with you, so you're not going to have to defend yourself. It's linked up here with the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords might be another person that you're dealing with, an air sign, Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. And with this air sign energy, what it basically means is I feel like a lot of you are meeting a very good match because it's a fellow air sign and you both are like, you believe in the same things. So long gone are the days where you have to constantly over explain yourself, because the other elements, they might not understand, but you're encountering a very simple similar energy where someone knows exactly what you mean without you having to like over explain, having to like tell them multiple times. They get it. So I feel like a lot of you might be dealing with this person, okay? And it looks very, very stable if you are dealing with an air sign. I feel that, they are a little bit mischievous. I feel like they're very witty, very intelligent, very sharp. They have a internal, I guess, like radar when it comes to sniffing out lies and knowing when somebody, like separating fact from fiction, sniffing out lies. So I feel like you're dealing with somebody who's quite sharp, quite witty. I feel like, not traditionally beautiful, but they're beautiful in your eyes. So I feel like it's somebody with, who smiles a lot, who has like a little bit of a mischievous streak within them. So if you're dealing with this person, things are very, very stable and things are smooth. You might have had some type of a philosophical difference between you and them in the past, but now things are good and things are stable. So what showed up in your past position here is the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups basically means the great love. Okay, this is just a very positive card, especially if it's relates to you, some of you starting a new relationship very recently. I feel like that looks really good. It's also linked up here with the Page of Cups. And the Ace of Cups and the Page of Cups together is very, very good. What it does is that I feel like, you don't just love the other person, you like them as a person. Like you like their friendship, you value their friendship, you value their ideas, and you can see yourself like having a friendship as your foundation, because I feel like you get along really well. So a lot of you might be dealing with a water sign as well, a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. If this person came into your life very recently, then I feel that it looks really good, okay? It looks very, very positive. So crowning this reading is something that you are thinking about. And we have the Four of Cups, especially for those of you who are single, a lot of options. And I feel like you're going on dates. You have many options coming through, and you're juggling two options here with the Two of Pentacles. So especially for those who are single. I feel like you're looking, if you are single right now, which basically means you left a significant relationship, right? And I feel that past relationship that you've had, it was very, very emotionally nurturing, very emotionally fulfilling. And so the options that are presented to you, you're just like, I don't want that. I want something that is a lot more like what I had before. Very, very deep, very, very emotionally fulfilling. So I feel like that's what you're aiming for if you were single. If you're in the single department, we do have here showing up as the magician. And the magician is in the upright position. So this is basically, the single gal, single guy. They're going out with their friends, and there's a lot of going out. Going to really extravagant places is also what I'm feeling. Being in the center of attention, having a lot of suitors. And you're not in any hurry. For those who are single, you're not in any hurry to get hitched. You're not in a hurry to find the one. I feel like you're going through the motions, wanting to date around, wanting to explore a little bit, and wanting to find that one relationship partner that really appeal to you on an emotional level, like the one you had in the past. Towards the end of this month, for those of you who are doing this, I feel like somebody's going to catch your eyes, okay? Somebody's in particular. Because we have the Hermit card, and this is what I call like internet stalking. This is somebody who is like looking at other people's pictures, somebody who is doing some type of digging, some type of information gathering on a specific person. And what I do sense is that if you are, single and dating, there's going to be somebody that catches your eyes towards the end of the month. And then likewise, if you're in a relationship, right? If you're in a relationship and you're kind of like eyeing somebody else, that can also show up. And I feel like for those of you who are juggling multiple people and you're supposed to be in a relationship, be very, very careful, because I feel like someone is digging into your past, like looking at your pictures or, prying. I feel like prying. Some information about what you're doing. So just be careful about that if you're juggling two people and you're not supposed to. What is coming through as well is I feel a lot of you, what's coming through in the future position. We have the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is shown up in the reverse position. This is a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. And this is somebody coming into the picture who wants to date socially. And I feel like if it's they have many suitors. They're going on many dates. And I feel like this is somebody that's going to catch your attention towards the end of the month for those of you who are single and dating. And I feel like you're going to be very swept away by this person. And you're going to do a lot of, I see a lot of like running obsessive thoughts about this person. And, this is a typical Gemini, really dig up information as well. So I feel that coming through towards the end of the month. And then likewise, I feel like if you were involved right now with a water sign, okay, if you are involved with a water sign right now, and you have been kind of like having doubts or having like suspicious thoughts, you're going to come to light. Some information is going to come to light. You're going to stumble upon some information about some indiscretion, okay, that they are dealing with. And I don't usually enjoy saying that, but I feel it very strongly with this spread, where if you are dealing with a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, and you have had suspicions, and you have looked into either their phone, their computers, or things like that, you're going to stumble upon something. And if not already, if it hasn't happened already, somebody that you have already done the research on, okay? So I hope the reading has been helpful, Geminis. Keep yourself grounded for this month. Focus on work. Focus on the practical responsibilities, okay? For those who are dating, I feel like you're not interested in getting into a new relationship just yet. And then for others, I feel a lot of very good communication, very good rapport here. With me, please visit my website. The information is in the description box below, where you can view my availability and my rates and all of that. If you'd like to donate to the channel as well, I do have a donation link in the description box below. And best of luck with everything. Take care of yourself. Your career house looks very amazing, so take care. Bye-bye.